Dino Ball.
Dino Ball.
Dino Ball.
Dino Ball.
Dino Ball.
Dino Ball. Welcome, ladies and gents, to episode 18 of the Dino Ball podcast. I'm Deej,
I'm Pat.
and we're getting right into it. We got a lot of fun topics today: basketball, baseball. Let's go right into it. First topic we're going to talk about today: the NBA playoffs. All right, we're going to talk about the
Actually gonna bring it
plan.
up.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, perfect. We got visuals now.
We
We're
do
we're
have visuals.
upgrading on the Do You Know Ball podcast. So basically, the plan already happened. We were going to talk about the plan, but I'm not going to do that anymore. We're going to go right into the playoff matchups as you see on your screen. I'm going to go over my opinions on the first round, and then if I'm feeling lucky, if I want the lottery numbers, I'll go into the second round, final predictions, all that. Let's go round by round first. Let's start with the West, okay? You have the Thunder versus the Pelicans. I truly think that this is the Thunder series. I mean, I don't think the Pelicans have Zion. I think Brandon Ingram could go off every now and then, but I think this is pretty easy. I think Shea and I think the Thunder's depth is going to lead them to a win this series. Mavericks versus Clippers. We talked about it on the last pod. That was actually the main focal point of the last podcast. I'm going to change my opinion. I'm going with the Mavericks in seven, only because I believe Kawhi Leonard is hurt and I don't know when he's coming back. Because I did say if Kawhi Leonard's healthy, they'll be fine. But now, in my humble opinion, I have Mavericks in seven. Timberwolves versus Phoenix. I was laughed at when I said Timberwolves would win the series. Many people on Twitter added me, they quoted me, they trolled me for saying Timberwolves in six. I'm sticking with it. They won last night. Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, that trio, not going to work. Okay. Grayson Allen is giving Kevin Durant and Joe Harris flashbacks. Okay. So I still have Timberwolves in six. Nuggets versus Lakers. Nuggets in four. Let's move on to the East. Celtics versus Heat. I don't know the amount of games, and I don't think the Heat have Jimmy Butler, but I think it's going to be a fun series. With that being said, Celtics in five. Cavs versus Magic. Cavs in four, maybe five. But this is the Cavs series. They have it. Bucks versus Pacers. This one's interesting. This one's very interesting. On paper, you want to say the Bucks are going to win this series, but if I'm not mistaken, I know the regular season record between the Pacers and Bucks heavily favors the Pacers, which is wild to say. I also think Giannis is hurt, so I don't know how well that
He
bodes
is, yeah.
for. Yeah, I don't know how well that bodes for Milwaukee's chances, but they have the better talent. I will still take Milwaukee, maybe in five, maybe in six. Knicks versus Sixers. This is going to be a tough one. Okay. Knicks did win. They did win game one. I hate the Knicks as a Nets fan, but I also hate the Sixers. So for me, this is a lose lose scenario. So I don't really care who wins this series. With that being said, though, I have Sixers and seven. Yeah, I think Joel Embiid is enough. Is enough. No disrespect to Jalen Brunson or Dante DiVincenzo, but I don't see Joel Embiid losing in the first round to the New York Knicks. As much of a playoff choker he is, and as much as his reputation is on the line here, I do not see Joel Embiid losing in the first round. Simple as that. Let's move on. Now, we're going to kind of go into the next round a little bit. I believe I would have OKC versus Mavericks in the second round. I'm going to take the Mavericks. I think the inexperience of OKC kind of catches up with them here. I know they were the best regular season record, but regular season is a different ball game than postseason. Okay, in my eyes, seeding doesn't matter in the postseason. As long as you make it, you have a chance to win the championship. Okay, we've seen that with the Miami Heat the past however many years. I have the Dallas Mavericks in five or six. I'll give Shea some credit. Then we'd be going on to Nuggets versus Timberwolves. Nuggets in five. Next, we have the Celtics versus the Cavs. Celtics in four. I don't really need to say much. They're too good. Next, we'd be going on to Bucks versus Sixers. Once again, I'm at a roadblock. I don't like either of these teams. However, Joel Embiid has never made a conference finals in his career, and I believe that's going to remain the same. So I'll take Bucks in 6 or 7, pending as long as Giannis is healthy. Now we go to conference finals. In my opinion, keep in mind, it's my opinion, you have Mavericks versus Nuggets. I'm going to take the Nuggets in, let's say, 6 or 7. Yeah, Nuggets, they're too good. Nikola Jokic is all you really need. They play as a team. Jamal Murray in the playoffs is the next Michael Jordan. Celtics versus Bucks. I'm not going to go in too deep with this one. The Celtics are going to win the series. I don't know how many games. I don't care how many games. The finals, the NBA finals are going to be the Celtics versus Nuggets. Okay. That's just what it's going to be. If it's not, I'm going to be very surprised. But I do have the Nuggets winning the NBA finals. Despite how good of a regular season Boston has had, I just don't see them beating the Denver Nuggets. They've already won. They know what it's like. They've been here before. Yes, the Celtics have been to the finals, 2 years ago against the Warriors, 3 years ago, however long ago it was. They were in the finals 2 years ago. The Nuggets are going to win the finals. It's as simple as that. Nikola Jokic going to win his second finals MVP. He's going to cement himself as one of the greatest players to ever play the game of basketball at the end of this season. And by the end of his career, could finish as a top 10 player of all time. Zachary, your turn. Go for it.
Okay. Now we have mainly similar things, right? Um, but there's a lot of things I disagree. Okay.
Okay. Well,
OKC versus Pelicans in round one.
yeah.
I think that's a no-brainer. Obviously, I agree with you. I think OKC is probably gonna do it in five. Maybe they give Pelicans grab one game there. But it's gonna be a pretty easy matchup for the Thunder in general. Still a young team. But they're gonna move on. Clippers versus Mavs. I do agree with you there. I just think Clippers got so many things like just roadblocked in their way. I think it's gonna be a long series, maybe 6 or 7 games. But I do think the Mavs are gonna pull out of that one. So
Mhm.
I do agree with you there. Timberwolves Suns. That should be a tough series, but they did take game one, the Timberwolves. Um, I think I'm gonna have to go with the Timberwolves. I'm gonna have to switch up my opinions from I believe last week. I think I said Suns, where it was like hard to count out the Suns. But I do agree with you. I think the Timberwolves will move on, may go to 6 or 7 games, but I think that the Timberwolves will move on. The Lakers and the Nuggets. Wow. I mean, you can't really count out LeBron. I don't think anybody could count out LeBron. I would love to pick the Lakers, but I'm going with Jokic and the Nuggets. I just don't see the Lakers winning this one, especially in the first round. Maybe 5 games. I think honestly 5 games. It's gonna maybe the Lakers grab one, maybe two, maybe even two. So maybe go 5 or 6 games there. But I think the Nuggets are moving on easily. Moving on to the East. Now we got Celtics and Heat. Celtics in four. I don't think there's any competition. You lost Jimmy. There's no competition there really for the Celtics, other than the fact that uh what's it called? The Heat have like a lot of good 3-point shooters. But other than that, I think Celtics got this pretty easy. Now moving on to this doesn't even have to be talked about. Cleveland versus Magic. Cleveland's moving on. Probably in 4 games. That's probably gonna be a really boring series. More boring than you'd probably think. Probably in four. Um Then Bucks, Pacers. I don't agree with you here. I don't see the Bucks moving on. You're losing out on Giannis for the first couple games. I think Pacers have one of the best playmakers I've seen with my own 2 eyes in Halliburton. I think the Pacers are going to move on in 6. I think the Pacers are going to move on. Then we're going to move down to the Knicks and the Sixers.
All right, I'm ready.
Honestly,
I'm ready for it. Lay it on me.
I'm going to go with the Knicks
Yeah,
in 5 or 6.
I knew this was coming.
I'm 100% going with the Knicks.
Mm.
The Knicks are too gritty. Like they just got enough depth to make it past at least the first round. It's going to be a tough matchup. but I think maybe within 5 or 6 they move on. So I disagree with you there. We're gonna head back to the West. What do we got? OKC and Mavericks, like you said. Dude, I don't think I personally don't think that the Mavericks really stand a chance. I think OKC might shock the world. I mean, I honestly believe that maybe 5 or 6 for OKC, but I think OKC moves on to the conference finals easily.
I don't think
Easily.
so. But I'll let you continue.
Yeah, I think that OKC moves on to the conference finals. Then we go Timberwolves and Nuggets. Nuggets moving on in 4 or 5. I think it's going to be a pretty easy matchup. I don't see Jokic losing in the second round either. So moving back to the East, what do we got? We got Celtics and Cavs. Celtics easily. Celtics in 4. Like they're gonna easily. There's too much, like you said. There, I agree with that. There's too much talent on that roster. I believe that they're gonna move on super quick, super quick. Then we got the Pacers and the Knicks for me. Now, maybe a little controversial. You thought I was gonna say Knicks, right? You thought I was
I'm
gonna say Knicks?
expecting it. I'm
You're
expecting it.
expecting it? No.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go outside the box here. I think the Pacers are gonna make the conference finals in six games. I think the Pacers are gonna make the conference finals. They got
That's
a lot of talent.
wild.
They got a lot, I know, maybe wild, but I feel
So
like they got a lot of talent on their
they'll
roster.
they'll lose to Embiid, but I mean no, they'll beat Embiid, but they'll lose to Miles
Dude,
Turner.
Embiid, and I'm telling you this right now, with the depth that the Knicks have, they're not losing first round. If the, and if I'm wrong, I'll tip my cap. But the Knicks are not going to lose first round.
Okay.
They may lose second. They're not going to lose first, and they're only going to lose second round because they don't have Julius Randle. Honest to God prediction. That's going to be the reason why they lose the second round, or they could shock everybody. But then we're going to go to conference finals, OKC and Nuggets. I can't count out Jokic. I think Jokic is going back to the finals this year in 5 games. 5 games is my prediction. I think Jokic is obviously going back to the finals, and I think he's going to look for that repeat. And then we go back for Celtics and Pacers for the conference finals. Obviously, Celtics in 4. So I think we have different routes to the finals, but ultimately, it's going to be Nuggets versus Celtics in the NBA Finals, and I think the Nuggets repeat. I think the Nuggets repeat in 6 games. I think it's going to take 6 games for them to repeat, and that's my kind of angle and take on it. But who knows? Who knows? Who honestly knows? The playoffs are very funny because I don't know if you had it on your bingo card last year that the Heat were going to make the finals, right?
No, I mean that's what I'm saying. The playoffs,
Wasn't on your
anything
bingo
can
card.
happen. Anything can
Any
happen in the
any team
playoffs.
could get hot at the right moment, and they could make the finals and win. Any team. So I think it's pretty wide open. Talent is all there, but I think it's gonna ultimately be Nuggets repeat because
Hmm.
they have such a talented roster. So that's my take on the playoffs.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah,
Now we move on to the next topic. We don't. All hail women's basketball, ladies and gents. The WNBA draft happened not too long ago. Caitlin Clark, unsurprisingly, went number 1 to the Indiana Fever. We're going to move on past that, though, because that was the obvious selection. She's going to do
yeah,
wonders for Indiana. The city of, or no, not city, the state of Indiana is in good hands basketball wise. You got Caitlin Clark, you have Tyrese Halliburton. Indiana, great place. Great place. A lot of sport legends, a lot of famous people, love Indiana. She's going to fit right in, and she's going to lead the Fever to hopefully multiple championships down the line if she stays. She's loyal. I have faith. Cameron Brink went number 2. This one, Not surprising at all. I think she was the consensus number 2 pick. She's going to do some great things for the Sparks. She was great at Stanford. I'm excited to see her play. And I'm actually going to a Liberty versus Sparks game, I believe. Not confirmed, but trying to get tickets because the Fever tickets are massively expensive. That's the Caitlin Clark tax. Camila Cardosa went number 3 to the Sky. And I also want to add, I believe Angel Reese went 6 to the Sky. It was 6 or 7. The Sky won the draft. That was loud. The Sky won the draft. Camila Cardosa and Angel Reese, you get them with 2 first-round picks. The Sky are going to be loaded for years to come. All I know is that this draft is one of the best things to ever happen for WNBA, for women's basketball as a whole. I think this is going to engage a lot more viewers. I think this year's draft class, one of the more famous ones for sure. Everyone's been keeping up. The March Madness this year actually, I think, drew more viewers than the men's. So I think that WNBA is in great hands. Caitlin Clark, heavily underpaid. And I understand that's just with the funds of the WNBA. She's making more from her endorsements alone. I believe her Nike endorsement was like about 3 million a year, but 28 million total or something like that. The league's in good hands. And with Paige Beckers coming over next year, probably the projected number 1 overall pick in my eyes, WNBA, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to go to Barclays for a couple Liberty games now and then. Get to watch Sabrina, get to watch Stewie every now and then. Ball. Maybe win the finals, get some revenge over the Aces. We'll see. We'll see. I also want to touch on Nika Mule. She went to Seattle. Liberty passed. I think the Liberty are going to regret that. We're not going to get into that, though. I don't want to speculate. But all I will say to end this segment, WNBA, women's sports as a whole, we're in great hands. We're in great hands. Hopefully, they start getting more revenue, more viewers, everything like that, and put the WNBA on the map.
Indeed, indeed. You know what, dude? I honestly want to ask you pretty before we move on. I want to
Sure.
ask you a pretty out there kind of question.
Yeah.
Does in her first season in the WNBA,
Yeah.
does Caitlin Clark have enough impact on the team to take her team directly to the finals?
The finals, no, not the finals. The Aces are way too good. The Liberty are way too good. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a repeat of that in the finals again. I think the Aces, if I'm not mistaken, just won 2 in a row. But I think the Liberty have it this year. I'm just biased, but I don't think that it's enough. I don't
She's
think it's
definitely gonna be
enough.
fun to watch, though.
Oh,
100%.
definitely. We're gonna see
All
a
these
lot more.
players,
Yeah,
all
a
these
lot more
players are gonna be
Caitlin
really
Clark.
fun to watch.
A lot more clips on social media. I can't wait to watch, and I'll also be tuning into games.
Yep, indeed, indeed.
Now,
You take the floor.
I was gonna say fun segment, but I wouldn't say this is fun. So the Michael Porter Jr.'s family in the last couple of days, little rocky. Okay, he's trying to focus on his playoff series. Meanwhile, his brother Jonte Porter was given a lifetime ban from the NBA. That's right. Jonte Porter was banned from the WNBA for his entire life. He was found to be betting on games. Okay. His total pay, I'm going to read right from the script. His total payout was $76,059, resulting in net winnings of $21,965. 3 of the bets were multi game parlay bets that included one Raptors game in which Porter bet that the Raptors would lose. That is big because it's one thing if you're betting on yourself, to be good, but if you're betting on your team to lose, you're just trying to intentionally tank for your homies. Here's Adam. Oh my God. Here's NBA Commissioner Adam Silver's response. There's nothing more important than protecting the integrity of NBA competition for our fans, our teams, and everyone associated with our sport, which is why Jonte Porter's blatant violation of our gaming rules are being met with the most severe punishment. While legal sport betting creates transparency that helps identify suspicious or abnormal activity, this matter also raises important issues about the sufficiency of the regulatory framework currently in place, including the types of bets offered on our games and players.
Working closely with all relevant stakeholders across the industry, we will continue to work diligently to safeguard our league and game.
So straight up, no warning, right? Charles Barkley said he should have been given 5 years, but I don't think it's going to matter. No one's running and crying because they can't sign Jonte Porter. If it was like a big star like a Luka Doncic, we'd be having a different conversation. But no one's going to care about Jonte Porter. So crazy. But if you're betting on your team to lose, you deserve a lifetime ban. But we're not done because as we were doing this script, something else happened. Coben Porter, the youngest brother of Denver Nuggets Michael Porter Jr., was sentenced to 6 years in prison for killing a woman. Now, I didn't, I guess I didn't put what the murder was.
Not
Uh,
important. He just killed a woman.
Yeah,
It's not important.
I think it was a car crash or something, driving under the influence or something. I could be wrong. But the point is, he killed a woman. So the Porter family, man, I don't know. Not not looking too great right about now. Um, it's really all I have to say. Crazy that you would practically throw away your life and your career. I mean, you're in the NBA. You risked millions of dollars for a profit of what, $22,000. Congrats, Jonte. You can go play overseas now. Coben Porter, what are we doing, man? Come on. We're gonna move on.
Yeah, dude.
Mike,
The only
yeah,
thing I have to say about that is, this can't be good for Michael Porter's conscience.
mm,
You're playing in the first round. You're trying to repeat. You're trying to get to that ultimate goal again, which is winning the NBA championship.
yes.
And you got all this stuff going on in the background. It's got to be rough. I mean, it's got to be rough. I can't imagine what he's honestly going through right now. Because these are your brothers. These are the people that your family. These are your family members. Obviously, any of us would kill for our family, but I mean, dumb decisions, honestly. And I especially feel bad for the youngest brother. I mean, who knows what actually happened? I mean, I guess I got some research to do after the pod too, but killing a woman, I mean, yeah, honestly, I agree with you. What are we doing? What are we doing? But we're going to move directly on now. Look, I can't really complain in Mets land the past couple weekends, couple
Here we
games.
go. Yeah.
Can't really complain. They've been playing well, but that's not what we're going to talk about today. We're going to go straight into what hurts the most. Now, we just lost Francisco Alvarez. He's done for 6 to 8 weeks. He's got a torn ligament in his thumb and he needs surgery. This was the one of the biggest blows, honestly, that the team could take right now because the only other catching options we got are Narvaez and Nito. So Nito's going to come back up. Narvaez is going to be our primary catcher. It's rough. I mean, he Alvarez injured his thumb sliding into second base after a steal, I believe, against the Pirates on the day game against the Pirates. And, he came up shaken up a little bit about it. So I was like, okay, a little shaken up. Shouldn't be too nervous about it. It should be pretty fine overall. Then in game one against the Dodgers, Will Smith airmails a ball, and as he's trying to round first base to go to second to take second, he jams his thumb directly into the ground, and it didn't look pretty. It didn't look pretty. At first, I was like, okay, he's fine. He's staying in the game. He stayed in the game. He actually scored a run in that inning. Um, I thought maybe there's a chance that he's fine to continue, but no, they immediately pulled him out of the game. Narvaez came in, and we just got more news today. It's a big blow. This is a big blow for the Mets. He's going on the 15-day IL, obviously 6 to 8 weeks, like I mentioned. Um, so hopefully wishing him a speedy recovery, and hopefully he can get back to the team as soon as possible because I know not only his bat matters, his defense and the way he brings up the team, brings up the energy matters. So I'm wishing him obviously nothing but the best for him. And then just as we were about to film this today, Brooks Raley goes down. He's got left elbow inflammation, and he is going on the 15-day IL, which is kind of brutal for the Mets because he's been a big part of their success recently. He's been a big part of them coming in and locking down 7, 8, 9 innings. Like he's he's been pitching very well. Been a very good lefty out of the pen. And I couldn't ask anything more of him, but it just sucks that we're losing these two key guys at such honestly a good time to be a Mets fan. Like we're playing good, everything's going well, and then boom, as soon as things are going well, two key injuries happen, and that's it. So yeah, I mean, I feel bad. I honestly I wish they didn't get hurt, but injuries suck. They happen to every team. They happen to
Mhm.
almost every player at some point in their career. They're terrible. Hopefully they bounce back and get back to us as soon as possible. I don't know if Matt, if you got anything else to add on that, but yeah, that just really blows for the Mets.
I
Now,
mean, yeah, I will add. I will add.
okay, all right, good.
I try to be as unbiased as possible. The Mets have surprised a lot of people lately, myself included. It definitely is a big blow. Tomas Nito? No,
Yeah,
Narvaez, you said,
no, yeah, Narvaez is the primary catcher currently.
but
No,
Nito's backup.
Nito is
Yes, yes,
backup.
yes.
Yeah,
Not ideal, but you got guys like Marte stepping up. I believe has Brett Beatty, has he not been well? Pretty good.
he's been good. He's been
Yeah.
hurt for the past couple games. He's
Okay.
making a return to the lineup today as we speak. He's
Mhm.
playing right now.
Okay. Well, you still got that going for you. You guys still got positives. You're beating teams that you probably shouldn't be. Let's be
Uh,
realistic.
Truthfully, I agree. Should
So,
not be beating. Should not have beaten the Braves, regardless of their pitching situation. 2 out of 3. Definitely should not have beaten the Dodgers. Two out of 3 thus far. They're playing right now, but should not have beaten the Dodgers 2 out of 3. Gotta
mhm.
say, I'm pleasantly surprised. Pleasantly
No, yeah,
surprised.
I'm pleasantly surprised as well. Like, hey, I mean, I'd take those wins every day of the week. So just keep rolling. Although it sucks that your young phenom is hurt, you can't complain with how the season's going though so far. And
No.
you got JD
Yeah.
Martinez back too, right?
Well, he just started playing again today
Yeah.
for the
hmm
minors.
hmm
So he should be with us probably
Yeah,
shortly. He's got 2 hits today, a double and I think a single.
it's perfect.
So I hopefully he comes up soon, pretty shortly,
hmm
and gives the team a little bit of a boost. You know what another surprise about this lineup is?
What?
Honestly, Harrison Bader.
Him too.
Really
Yeah.
honestly shocked me. It took me to actually going to a Mets game to realize like holy shit, like he's actually batting 300. Like every time I tune into the game, usually I don't see him get a hit, but like the past couple games too, even I mean he's been on fire. I gotta say, I like his glove. I like the way he's handling his at bats. Can't complain. Honestly, can't complain. I can't
hmm
complain.
I was with the Yankees until he wasn't good anymore.
Yeah, yeah, he was really good for the Yankees though. He was really good. Well, especially
Mhm.
I remember that the playoff run, and the bombs he hit. I also remember the game we went to. He pimped I think it was a 3-run shot. Like I think it was like either last year or 2 years ago. We went to a
Did he?
game. He pimped a shot, and yeah, I know you guys were saying um that he's one of the coolest people alive. But then again, it was different times. He was on your team and he was playing well.
I
So
don't. I don't remember that. I'm not saying it
uh,
didn't happen. I just don't remember that. No.
yeah, well,
I when you wear the pinstripes, the mood shifts. That's all I can say.
yeah.
Pinstripes do magical things.
All right, moving on. this is a guy I really want to talk about. I don't think we haven't mentioned him yet on our pod.
I mean, probably since the last time we talked about it when he signed, maybe.
Yeah, definitely when he signed. That's probably the last time we mentioned his name. But he has since signing, he's been nothing but great for the Cubs. Imanaga. Is that how you say his name? Imanaga?
Shota Imanaga.
There you go. Shota Imanaga. Okay. He's been pitching great. 18 innings without an earned run. His current stats right now in the MLB are he's got 21 and a third innings pitched. He's only given up 2 walks, which is pretty surprising considering, the amount of innings we see here. And he's got 21 Ks, 0.84 ERA, and he's got a .75 WHIP. Honestly, Cubs fans, kind of, I can't say. Look, I'm honestly shocked at this because any Japanese or any kind of pitcher that pitched in a different league and is trying to convert to the MLB, it's always a hard situation. I know, obviously I know from experience, Senga didn't do so well in the beginning, but then kind of
Mhm.
settled in. Um, and usually it takes like a little bit of time for them to adjust and you know, get used to the MLB, but he's been great off the bat. I mean, he's been better than Yamamoto.
Yeah.
He's been better than which is very shocking
Who
because
would have thunk?
the the Dodgers spent an immense amount of money on Yamamoto, and this is a guy that the Cubs picked up for not expensive at all. He was pretty cheap, honestly. And he's been nothing but fantastic. He's been better. He's been better than Yamamoto. So I can't say that I'm just all in all I'm just shocked. I'm honestly just shocked because usually it takes time for these things to happen, but he's been phenomenal to start the year. Hopefully he continues. Um, but yeah, nothing really else to mention. Just the fact that he's doing good and he's really producing for the Cubs and helping them get some wins on the board. And I know that Cubs team is pretty damn good, to tell you the honest truth. And honestly, I was happy for them when they got Bellinger back too. So
Yeah, me
I
too.
mean, other
Perfect fit.
than other than that, Imanaga, man, he's been pitching very well, and hopefully he continues that uh that trend. But we're going into our last topic of the day, and I felt like we needed to mention this and get this out as soon as possible because we have someone who didn't pitch well, someone who made his MLB debut for the Texas Rangers. I think it was last week. Jack Leiter
Mhm.
made his MLB debut, and it was nothing short of terrible. I mean, 3.2 innings pitched, 8 hits, seven earned runs, 3 walks, and 3 Ks. You would have thought too that maybe his outing would have been promising because he did strike the first batter out of the game on 3 pitches. 3 pitches it took him. And, it's it's baseball. It's baseball, man. He's gone already. Completely gone. Like they already did away with him. He made his debut and he's right back where he started in AAA. They sent him down, I believe, 2 days ago
Yeah.
because Michael Lorenzen is pitching for them and is ready to join the rotation for the Rangers. It's sad to see. You know, Obviously you're making your MLB debut. There's got to be a lot of nerves. Any person who's doing that, you gotta be focused on doing well, so focused on doing well. I believe his dad was in the stands too. Pretty pleased about the first at bat,
Mhm.
but then they just went all downhill.
Yeah.
It was rough to watch.
Mhm.
It was rough to watch. I feel bad for the kid. I don't know if you want to add anything on that.
Well, he was the second pick in the draft for a reason. I actually remember him getting drafted because him and Volpe were teammates at Del Barton. Uh so yeah, not the best start for your first in your MLB career, but like I said, second pick for a reason. He'll be fine. I know he kind of has somewhat struggled in the minors a little bit, but he's a great talent. And Lorenzen came up. Who knows? Maybe Lorenzen gets hurt or someone else gets hurt. They have DeGrom in their rotation. They have Scherzer in their rotation. Pretty old, pretty injury prone. So it's very quite possible for him to get called right back up. And all it takes is one good game. And then he can turn it all around. And then maybe he'll be a staple in that rotation for years to come. So I wouldn't get too shaky on Jack Leiter yet. I have faith in him still. He's going to be great.
Yeah, he just needs to go work on this stuff a little bit.
Yeah.
We know he's got nasty stuff.
Yeah.
He's got to work on it. He's got to work on throwing his fastball in better places,
Mhm.
and just really all his pitches. Just see what works, see what his primary pitch is, and roll with it. But with that being said, that is the end of episode 18. Appreciate you guys for coming in and listening. I know me and Matt both appreciate the love on the last podcast. But yeah, tune in for next week for episode 19. We will see you next week.